Hello, my name is Felicity Trent, and this is my first film analysis for EDFN 3301 Issues in Education. The film that I chose to do for my film analysis is A Race to Nowhere. Um, and this film, um, the main idea of the film that I took from it was that uh, kids in our society back when this film was produced, and even now I see they're very overwhelmed with by having an overloaded schedule. When it comes to what courses that they take in school, making sure they have enough honors classes, AP courses, what sports they're involved in, bands, orchestra, clubs, even down to volunteering. Uh, their schedules were so packed that after they're at school for 7 hours in a day, not only do they do that, but they have to go on for homework, and then they have extracurricular activities and practices. And when do they have time to sit down for a meal with their family and actually rest? Um, some of the takeaways that led into that once students reach middle and high school, their homework load actually increases. And that was seen when test scores became, you know, predominant. Looking at fourth and fifth grade up until 12th grade, uh, the focus on teaching is mainly to go towards test scores and making sure that the students are prepared to pass those tests for standardized testing. Um, you know, because schools they receive money if the students perform well on those, and they get grants and they get money for the schools. Um, and there's also an internal pressure to perform inside of these students. And when they don't perform at the high expectations that they have for themselves, they see that as failure. If a student is used to making straight A's, if they make a B, they see that B as a failure, when in reality, I mean, it's a B and it's not an F. But um, kids, like I mentioned before, kids are faced with making sure they have AP courses, sports clubs, volunteering, and still maintain that social status. But when do they have time to, play and spend time with their friends and build this social aspect outside of building a college resume and making sure that they have enough on a college resume to get into whatever college that is supposed to be acceptable. Um, the need to perform at high levels creates other issues. Um, so we're seeing depression, anxiety, eating disorders, um, reliance on supplements to stay awake or stay focused. In the film, it showed a young girl who had stopped eating in order to. She realized that when she didn't eat, she had the energy to stay awake and she was more focused. Coming from someone myself who, developed an eating disorder in middle school, I can relate in the fact that it became more of a control thing, and you do realize that you do have more energy and you're focused, and but in the long run, you get more tired and you're not able to focus because your body is telling you that you're not getting the nutrients that you need. So it's a whole nother issue. And then also the reliance on supplements. I went to school with students who weren't prescribed Adderall, but yet they. Well, I have 30 seconds left. Okay, so when testing becomes a priority over even building character and teaching kids and young adults to be caring individuals, that's where we're seeing the problem. I mean, I've thought about that with my own kids. I think about, yes, my kids are smart. My kids make straight A's, maybe that occasional B, but I ask myself, are my kids going to be outstanding citizens out here in the real world? Are they going to be able to have empathy and show empathy? and I want to make sure that my children, and as a future teacher, I want to be able to show my students how to, incorporate those skills into their life. Um, One thing I did not know was that in Singapore, um, the government chooses the top 20% in their high school class and gives them a full ride and stipend to be trained as a teacher. I wish we had that here. That would be amazing. Also, you said to choose a quote from the film. My quote was, "The point of education is to learn, not to memorize." And I chose this quote because it hit home with me. I can say that I spent time memorizing for tests, and when I took the assessment, it was, forgotten. If we create an environment for students to have less stress over what is a test, what is on a test, and put more emphasis on making learning fun and the schooling experience fun and exciting place to be, students would absorb more of the information taught to them. And if their schedules were not so packed, they would have more downtime to think. I'll end by saying this. The film spoke about inventors and entrepreneurs that were C students and did not go into college. I actually read once, I'm not sure where, so I can't, cite it, but there was a study conducted on the brain and what stress does to the brain. And it stated that, our brains need that downtime so that we can have creative thoughts. And if the students are always having an overloaded schedule, when will they ever have time to have a creative thought? I'm hitting 7 minutes, so I'm going to end, because you're not going to watch anything after this. But I enjoyed watching the film, and I enjoyed this class.